This video is brought to you by Simply Safe. And I've got to say, there really is no safety like Simply Safe. Welcome to Electrified. I'm your host, Dylan Loomis. I'll be honest, this week, I've had 3 words on my mind again and again: Tesla is back. Now, it's not like Tesla ever really went away, but it feels like the mood around it has shifted. News coverage has picked up, and it seems like we're now moving into the next chapter of Tesla's AI journey. There's a ton of Tesla news to go over, so let's dive in without wasting any time. First off, let's talk briefly about what we've seen from Optimus in the last 2 days. Elon shared some exciting details. Everything shown is at real-time speed with no CG, learned fully in simulation, and then transferred directly to the real world without any in-between training. The progress Tesla made in simulations now carries over into real-world use, like stronger walking ability and better full-body coordination. They also improved hardware and fine-tuned their power systems. James DMA commented, saying Optimus movement has now gone from version 11 to version 12. Tesla engineer Russell said the training system they built using sim-to-real reinforcement learning can handle many difficult motions. This tech will soon help with tasks like gripping and handling objects. Toby from XAI reminded everyone that the goal isn't just to make the robot work, but to make it work at a big scale, with low costs and high reliability. That's a lot harder than building a one-time demo unit. Elon replied to that with one of his favorite lines: "Prototypes are easy, production is hard." 4 years ago, The Verge ran an article saying Elon's Tesla bot was just a joke and distraction. Fast forward to today, and we're all laughing alongside Elon, who simply said, "Keek," like a casual LOL. Elon also mentioned he's planning to bring an Optimus dance group on stage with him at the next Tesla shareholder meeting. One user joked that Wall Street analysts would have a mental breakdown from it, and Elon found that hilarious too. Elon also said Optimus performs these actions daily at Tesla's Palo Alto lab. Several Optimus units move around the office all day and night, charging themselves when needed, without supervision. He added that creating great robot hands is one of the toughest parts, besides building real-world AI, which is very complex. He said Optimus will be able to dance ballet flawlessly. When someone mentioned Wall Street starting to run models on Optimus, Elon said the numbers get crazy fast. A user posted a photo of a Catgirl robot, and Elon joked, "We can make a much hotter Catgirl robot," suggesting just how wild the future could get. Elon also added that what we're seeing now is still far from the final version. Tesla engineer Martaza said the team is incredibly fast, and that sim-to-real reinforcement learning is the key to achieving agile and precise movements. It's also the foundation for accuracy and dependability. Another Tesla engineer, Sriari, explained that dancing is hard not just for people but for robots too, as it tests timing, power, and reaction speed. There was some talk in recent months that Tesla might have a problem with the speed of its linear actuators. But based on this video and the feedback from engineers, it doesn't seem to be a concern anymore. In a short 6-second clip, Optimus was shown dancing while attached to a safety tether. In the longer video, people noticed cords on its back, but those are just part of that safety system, not a flaw in the robot's design. Think of it like a leash on a dog. Experts in robotics often talk about something called the sim-to-real gap. That's the difference between how things work in a digital simulation compared to the real world. This training method isn't new. Others have used reinforcement learning in simulated environments to teach robots real-world tasks. But what might give Tesla an advantage is that they build everything themselves, including the actuators. Because of this, Tesla can fine-tune things like balance and control in a predictable way. And although I'm not a robotics expert, I'd guess these actuators need to be extremely well calibrated for Optimus to pull off these complex moves. Elon confirmed that this was zero-shot transfer, which means Optimus learned the actions in a simulation and then performed them in real life for the first time without extra training. It's a bit hard to fully understand, but think of it like a super detailed video game where every part of real life, gravity, friction, light, floor texture, is built into the digital model. Tesla has to create that entire virtual world manually. They also need a perfectly accurate virtual version of Optimus, down to its weight, joints, and motor sizes. Then, in this simulated world, Optimus tries different moves and is rewarded for doing them well. Over time, it learns and improves its behavior. Training this way is much faster than using a real robot because when Optimus falls, nothing breaks. It's all digital. Once it learns something well in the simulation, that knowledge transfers immediately to the real robot. That's what zero shot means. To me, this shows Tesla is getting very good at moving from the virtual world to the real one, and they're solving a problem that many other companies still struggle with. My main takeaway? I wouldn't call it a breakthrough, but it's definitely a big step forward in how accurate Tesla's world modeling is and how reliable its hardware is. Tesla now seems to have an extremely detailed understanding of how the real world works. And honestly, Elon's been calling Tesla a real-world AI company for years, it's just now coming true. One big reason why doing everything in-house helps is that Tesla controls every part of the actuator's design. They get to decide how fast they work, how hot they get, how quickly they respond, and how they behave under different conditions. Tesla even gets to set all the physical data that powers the simulation, with physics being the only limit. This means their learning algorithms can pick up things like, hey, standing on one leg uses more power, or, this move might cause overheating, all inside the simulation, without having to find out the hard way in real life. This in-house design creates a positive feedback loop. Better simulations lead to more actions that work in reality. Those successes give Tesla more real-world data, which they can use to improve their models. That, in turn, leads to better simulations, which allows for even more difficult movements to be trained and used in the real world. Now, for anyone out there thinking, big deal, it's just a dancing robot, I get it. But what I'm saying is that something useful is probably coming soon. I wouldn't be shocked if later this year Tesla shows Optimus doing a helpful task using the new robot hands. I've tried to keep my hopes in check for Optimus, but after watching this video and listening to the experts, I've got to say things are probably moving a lot quicker than even I expected. And we haven't even touched on Tesla's cost advantage from building all these parts themselves. Since Tesla isn't paying outside companies for parts, they're saving a lot. And Tesla is going to build these robots itself, it won't have to outsource to another manufacturer. Tesla also doesn't need to raise money right now, so there's no reason for them to fake a video just to look good. They're in a full sprint toward making a practical, usable humanoid robot, and they're just happy to show how far they've come. Meanwhile, some other robotics companies might have more reason to make misleading demos because they need funding. But Elon said this was all happening in real time, which means Optimus is doing the thinking live, no preloaded routines. It's reading its own body positions and balance data and making decisions instantly, using its onboard computer systems. This is only possible because Tesla has powerful motors, fast sensors, and amazing software. But maybe the most exciting part is how scalable this approach is. Because of reinforcement learning and simulation, Tesla can run millions of training examples quickly. Now, I know some people will say, well, other companies will just copy this. Maybe eventually, but getting from simulation to a working real-world robot without extra training isn't easy. That's why I highlighted it earlier, crossing that sim-to-real gap is very difficult. Personally, I'm much more excited about Optimus in 2026 than I was a few days ago. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Optimus could actually end up being a bigger deal than Tesla's next-gen unsupervised AI. That says a lot about where Tesla is headed next. Patience is going to pay off. And to top it off, Ross from XAI said if you're into building massive computing systems, you should join XAI. Elon added that if you're not aiming for a terawatt of compute, then you're not seriously trying. That's the kind of power they're looking to put behind Grok, the AI that will likely be inside Optimus and Tesla cars. This is why I keep saying the next few years are going to be incredibly exciting. Earlier, I posted a story on X about a neighbor offering to guard our Teslas with a rifle. What I didn't say is that we already feel secure thanks to Simply Safe. I've never shared this before, but after my father-in-law passed away the year before Ashley and I got married, we invited my mother-in-law to live with us so she wouldn't be alone. Since Ashley and I travel often, I needed a top-tier way to make sure she always feels safe. After doing my usual research, just like I do for this channel, I found Simply Safe. Now they even sponsor us, which is awesome. Simply Safe now has something called Active Guard for outside protection. It's a big upgrade, because most systems only react after someone breaks in. With Active Guard, they have real agents watching live camera feeds. They can speak to intruders, set off alarms and lights, or call the police before anything happens. My mother-in-law didn't want to be on camera, but I'll tell you, she's said more than once how much more secure she feels knowing we have cameras and sensors that we can check anytime, from anywhere. These cameras even have privacy shutters, and everything can be adjusted in the app. You can build your own system with things like doorbell cams, water sensors, smart locks, and more. Best of all, there are no long-term contracts or cancellation fees. Plans start at just $1 a day. Right now, electrified viewers can get 50% off a Simply Safe system when signing up for professional monitoring, and your first month is free. Go to simplysafe.com/electrified to set up your system. As they say, there's no safe like Simply Safe. Tesla also shared today that they'll be shipping some parts from China to the US later this month to begin production of the Cybercab and semi-trucks. This came after the US and China reached a short-term trade agreement on tariffs. Sadly, they didn't mention which specific parts, which I was definitely curious about. Talking about the Cybercab, AJ said 95% of the fleet will be idle at night when fewer people need rides. During that time, Optimus could load packages into Cybercabs. Then those vehicles could deliver items right to people's doors. If package theft is an issue, they could use delivery boxes or drop-off stations instead. This would make Tesla's ride-hailing network even cheaper to operate. Elon responded to this by saying, "Exactly. If you want a clue about what's coming, think about this. Most people probably expect a setup like that in 2035 or later, but it's starting to look like it might happen before 2030. We also learned that Tesla's board created a new committee to look into Elon's compensation, which could result in a brand new pay plan. This move is part of a bigger effort to reduce the uncertainty about Elon's future role with the company. Now, yes, the last news report we got on the board wasn't great. But Elon hasn't denied this new one. The committee is just two people, Robin Denholm and Kathleen Wilson-Thompson. Tesla clearly learned from its past when setting up executive pay plans. They're also looking at other ways to reward Elon for past work, especially if they can't get the 2018 pay plan reinstated in court. This delay might be why Tesla hasn't scheduled its annual meeting yet, so the committee has more time to figure things out and present them to shareholders. The group is still early in the decision-making process, and there's no guarantee anything will change. Any new plan would likely include stock options tied to goals like profits, production numbers, or share price, similar to the 2018 deal. If that 2018 plan does come back, Elon's stake in Tesla would grow from 13% to over 20%. He has said before he wants at least 25%. The upside? Any new deal for Elon would now be under Texas laws, since Tesla moved its incorporation. The committee even brought in a new law firm that knows Texas law well. The Financial Times reported that bringing back the 2018 plan would cost Tesla more than $50 billion in accounting charges, and Elon would face a 57% tax hit because the options would be considered in the money. Believe it or not, this could end up being even more important than what we're seeing with Optimus. Why? Because it suggests Tesla is ready to commit to Elon again for the next 5 to 10 years, with fresh performance-based goals. And that alone says a lot about Tesla's vision for the future.